Thank you everyone for joining us today for a conversation on women in STEM and the arts. My name is Betty Diaz and I am the Vice Chair of Omega Phi Beta Foundation. Our mission is to advance women's rights in STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math, and continuing education support for young women and mothers. Today's guest is Merryl Tengesdal, who is the first and only African-American woman to fly the Air Force U-2 spy plane. She can be seen on Tough As Nails Season 2 on CBS and has a background in engineering. Please welcome Merryl Tengesdal.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much, Merryl, for being here. All right. So as you know, about 30% of STEM workers are women, and with engineering being represented the least. Tell us about what had you study engineering.
First off, I wanted to be an astronaut. And I knew, even at 7, I knew being strong in math and science were the areas that I had to be proficient in and just be more than just proficient. So as I started going from junior high school to high school, there were these programs that opened up. And there were these programs I could take outside of the city in different colleges. And one was called STEP at that time, was Science Technology Entry Program. And it was a program open to economically disadvantaged kids. So it was a very diverse group of kids across the board that went there. And it was at the University SUNY Binghamton. And I did that for a summer. So we did stuff in, like biochemistry, biology, all the sciences. And if you did well, they would invite you back the next summer to do research projects. And I was invited back, and I actually worked with a professor in the field of electrical engineering, doing thin film deposition type technology. So doing vacuum technology and learning about that system. So that was the first thing that exposed me really to engineering, was doing that summer research and doing a project. Fast forward, when it was time for me to go to college, I still wanted to be an astronaut, and I was trying to think about what engineering I wanted to do. I couldn't decide between aerospace and aeronautical at that time, so my third choice was electrical, because I had worked in the electrical field in high school. And basically, I applied to the University of New Haven and made their electrical engineering program. So I didn't mind it because I like computers, I like the digital aspect. So that's how I went into the engineering field. I knew this was a stepping stone for me to become a pilot and to move on.
Tell us a little bit about what got you interested in being, a pilot and wanting to be an astronaut.
Yeah, I watched a lot of science fiction. So everything from Star Trek. I'm not a real big Star Wars fan. Sorry, folks out there. I looked a little bit at Space 99. I know. Space 99, Twilight Zone, all those things, the unknown, the future. Though, I think I was more fascinated with the unknown, exploring the unknown. So that's, at 7 years old, what's the best thing to do? People have explored the oceans, the earth. Why not explore space? I mean, why not? At that age. So that's why I decided I was going to do that. And I knew by watching Star Trek, people go to Starfleet Academy. So you go to an academy. What do you do? Math and science. The first officer, Spock, he was a science officer. So math and science, it made sense. You draw those dots at such a young age. It was just an impression left upon me, so that I knew that's what I was going to do.
Awesome. So I see that you're wearing a Golden Girls shirt.
Yes.
I take it you're a big fan.
Man, I have all 7 episodes.
Me too, 7. On DVD.
On DVD.
Me too. Me too. The colorful. Yes. So here's a fun question. So right. STEM, right? STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. So if you had to put each character into each of those buckets, who would be who?
Wow. Um, so I think let's go with Rose. Rose, Rose was like the bubbly person. I think for Rose, we'd have to use the acronym STEAM because science, technology, engineering,
Yes,
arts.
yes, yes.
So Rose was more of an arts person.
Yeah, you're right.
um, what was Dorothy? B. Arthur. Military person, of course.
Yes, Marine.
Marine. So, Marines. They joke about Marines not, of all the branches in terms of intelligence, maybe Marines are a little bit less on that scale, which they're not. I've met a lot of very brilliant Marines. She would be more, let's see, I would say more of the mathematician. So she was mathematics.
She played a teacher on the show, right?
She did play a teacher in the show. So she was more of an English. She was an English major. She was an English teacher.
Okay.
But I'll put her in math. And Sophia, straightforward. Knew about life. Knew about how everything worked. I'll put her more of the S in STEM. And then, of course, we have Rue McClanahan, which was Blanche. Oh, she was a hot mess. But she was a lovely hot mess. We're going to put her in engineering. She had a way with things. Does that make sense? So she can break things down to the basic and make things work in certain ways.
So I'm gonna call you Blanche since you're representing engineering. I'm kidding. Oh man, that's hilarious. I would have put Sophia in technology because she was just straight with it. So kind of like a computer, just straight. She's just unfiltered. Yeah. That's so funny. Oh my God. All right. So the last question, and again, thank you for being here and just sharing some of your experience, and so that our younger women and moms out there who want to pursue the field of STEM. So with that, like, what advice can you give women today who are pursuing STEM or engineering?
Look, I would say, don't be intimidated. We know that women you're going to be in a very heavily male dominated field. It just is. And you have to think of it as opportunities to just meet new people and just different ideas. A lot of people in STEM are usually are international. At least when I went to school, our classes were small until we had an influx of Israeli students come in and do engineering. So, and they were all men. I think there was one woman who was Israeli in the electrical engineering program. But what I loved about all of them is that, number one, I was immersed in their culture. Like, I started learning to speak Hebrew. I started, when Rosh Hashanah, to understand the culture, I would hang out with them. Look, I'm from New York, so matzo ball soup is nothing unusual, but to have it, homemade and hang out and, that was the opportunity. I got to learn about a different culture. I got to learn and hang out with them and study with them and learn about their times in the Israeli army and, because I was going to go into the military. So I wouldn't be intimidated by it. I would just lean into that and just say, you're going to be a woman amongst a whole bunch of guys and it'll be okay. Learn as much as you learn from them, teach them as well. Maybe they'll say some things that are insensitive. We'll put them in their place and let them know and be assertive and do you and be the person you are. You have a lot to offer to the STEM programs. You have a lot of perspectives that maybe men may not see. So be confident in that fact and take comfort in that fact that you're going to bring a lot more to the table, and the group that you work with is going to be more robust as a result of it.
Right. And you have a great example of that, right? You went into a field that it's not a lot of women, and now you have this accomplishment of, being the first African American woman to fly a spy plane. Had you not been someone who said, I'm going to go get this degree and become, somebody, enter the military and all that, you wouldn't have had that experience. So pretty cool, I would
Right.
say. Thank you so much for being here with us and having this conversation and just being inspiring as always. And thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us today in our interview with Merryl Tengesdal. I hope you learned a little bit about engineering. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram at OPB Foundation, and then visit our website at opbfoundation.org. Take care.